Saying something nice about every Destiny exotic. Heavy Weapon Edition. The coolest part about this exotic was that weird time where you could launch a rally flag into the stratosphere and watch every single one of your teammates be incredibly mad at you for no reason other than you did something very funny, and they just didn't get the joke. This might be the best weapon for killing Gorgons in Gorgon's Maze. The Boop Cannon is forever going to be funny in PvP, and it's always been a dominant PvE option. Incredibly good for damage rotations, and really a lot of bullshit has been enabled because of this gun. It's a heavy weapon shotgun. That's just so cool. Really, when this thing is meta, it is the meta. When it hits like a truck, it hits like a truck. I love this gun so much. Say what you want about Darci, this is the best measuring stick in the entire game. It made the life of a D2 content creator so easy for so many years. This was the weapon they used just to know the damage fall-off ranges of certain weapons, and you can't fault this gun for that. It really was very helpful for a lot of people. I actually find this gun incredibly fun. Really, it's just so easy. It's kind of like an auto-aim grenade launcher. They just shoot the floor and watch the carnage unfold in front of you. It's very easy to use. Has it been meta? No, not really, but it's an incredibly fun weapon that I think you should try out more often. Worldline skating quite literally made this game so much faster paced than it needed to be, and that's a good thing. I really attribute a lot of the speedruns in this game starting off with this weapon right here when it came out. This to me is the most consistent heavy weapon in the entire game. Seriously, anytime I pick it up, I'm just always thoroughly surprised with how good it performs and how unremarkable it really is. It doesn't do anything special, doesn't do anything crazy, but it works. It is just consistently good no matter what meta we are in. I love this gun, and I think the name is pretty aptly true, because it is a sleeper pick, 100%. The Whisper the Worm mission is probably the coolest thing that has ever happened in this game, and I attribute that moment when the Whisper mission came out and we're all like scouring IO to find the portal and go do that mission for the first time. That was the moment that saved D2. We can talk about Forsaken all we want, but that moment when IO had the Whisper mission for the first time, that was the thing that saved the game. Really, that was the moment that saved D2. 1000 Voices might be one of the most unique weapons in the entire game. It's a fusion rifle that does explosive damage. It's kind of in the same vein as Vex Mythoclast, as it just takes a fusion rifle archetype and flips it on its head, and I love that about this gun. Besides being unique that it uses all three elements in one gun, I think the coolest thing about this gun is that it helped make the Witness so much easier than it needed to be, because you could just cheese the buttons by like shooting this gun and then killing yourself with like the second or third rocket from it. It made getting Euphony pretty easy for me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I cheesed the Witness. Don't hate me. Scold me in the comments, but please be nice. Actually, insanely good right now. Please don't sleep on Black Talon. Please, if you haven't used this thing since like Forsaken, it's actually incredibly good right now. I find it so funny how this was like so bad for 4 or 5 years, and then one buff made it the most meta option in the entire game. It really just came out swinging, didn't it? There's a reason why people meme about this gun being easy DPS. Because it really is just hold mouse 1 and profit. This is probably the easiest exotic heavy weapon in the game to use. This was the peak of Destiny 2. This right here, and having auto-reloading rifts and barricades, this was the peak of Destiny 2. This is the best rocket launcher in PvP. It just is. There's no other rocket you should be using besides Truth. I think Leviathan's Breath is entirely underrated, and I think it's one of those guns that it's never going to be too crazy in the meta, but it's always still decent enough to be relevant. It's a weapon that has such a great ammo economy, and it feels good to shoot. It's just satisfying to use a gigantic bow that does a lot of damage. No other gun in the game makes oracles easier to kill than this thing. Deathbringer is probably one of the prettiest guns to shoot. The void orbs that kind of descend from where you shoot it is just such a cool looking effect that I think needs more love. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm struggling to come up with something cool about this exotic that I like, so I'll just say it's kind of nice that it's a Cabal weapon. This gun was a meme for so long, but now it's actually kind of good. But more importantly, this allows you to do some crazy out-of-bounds tactics that no other gun can do, and just for that alone, it's incredibly cool. This is theoretically the only heavy weapon in the game to have infinite ammo if you're good enough with it, and I think that's incredibly cool. It's a sword that's a chainsaw at the same time. Gjallarhorn to me is peak Destiny DPS. Nothing is cooler than just 6 Guardians all shooting rockets at a single big target, and this gun enables that. I love it for that reason. Parasite turned Atrax, which is already a pretty easy boss, into a laughingstock. Genuinely, this gun makes that encounter not even an encounter anymore. It's like 30 seconds of a fight, and that's it. That's all you get. 30 seconds, and that's it. The micro missiles that this gun shoots actually is probably the highest DPS in the entire game. It is just such a quick and easy volley of high damage, and the fact that you can stack this effect on certain objects within the world that aren't actual enemies makes it even better, because you can pre-stack before an actual fight, which is insane. This right here carried me through Vesper's Host, and I gotta give it credit for that. I actually love this weapon so much. From the dungeon it comes from to the effects it has, it gives you free weaken and free invisibility. Weapons that give you free effects from subclasses are always good to me, and this was one of the first, and I love that for it. It's such a cool, unique design too, and Duality is one of my more preferred dungeons in the game. So the fact that it came from that, it's a bonus point for me. I might get flamed for saying this, but this weapon's a lot better than y'all give it credit for. I recently gave it a try for the first time in a long time, and I was thoroughly surprised. It hits pretty hard, and the fact that it's anti-barrier is pretty nice, especially in a season where anti-barrier is just hand cannons and that's it. So this is a nice alternative if you need anti-barrier capabilities in the game. So I urge you, go give it a try. It's a big stick that hits incredibly hard. This gun is just incredibly cool. Just the design on it alone with a little shark aesthetic is just so nice. I love this gun to death, and it really was one of my favorite time periods when this thing first came out, because the ability to just pop a target with a single hit of this gun and just watch explosions everywhere, it was so much fun. I love this gun. It was the very first kinetic weapon that was in the heavy slot, and that's incredibly cool. I think it's unique in the fact that it also plays with Transcendence and using your super. I had mentioned, I think, for the special weapon video, that Agriceptor being a weapon that uses your super as a resource is very cool, and this kind of plays on that as you benefit the weapon after using your super, and I want to see more iterations of stuff like that in the game. Anarchy walks so Finality's Augur could run. I would talk about this thing if I had it. I actually think it's incredibly cool that Bungie is adding new sword archetypes in the game. Heliosat was a pretty cool mission in a pretty rough spot of the game, and Wolf's Bane was just a nice breath of fresh air during a time in the game where most people were pretty unhappy. And I think this is one of the things that made people happy at that time. Except for that, it gets some love from me. This gun lets you live your Threadling army dream even more than anything else. This quite literally lets you become an army all on your own. Anyways, that's at least one nice thing about every Destiny 2 exotic heavy weapon. If you could like, comment, and subscribe for more, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time, and have a nice day.